A Chinese TV show teaches the latest Latin dance moves. The Chinese have a new interest in all things Latin American these days because China is now the dominant power in the region. This shows the extent of China's trade dominance in South America in 2000. Compare that to what it is today. And China is well on its way to becoming the dominant trading partner in all of Latin America. Latin American officials are warning that the U.S. is losing the region to China without a fight.
It is a big problem, and it's a problem that's getting worse.
Dr. Evan Ellis is a Latin American expert at the U.S. Army War College.
For China, in Latin America, like most other parts of the world, it's mostly economic, but that doesn't make it any the less strategic either for the United States or the region.
20 Latin American nations have joined China's Belt and Road Initiative, in which China invests in a nation's infrastructure, like this container port China is building for Peru. China will also be supplying nations with civilian nuclear technology, helping them develop space programs, and providing them with Chinese 5G technology that experts warn is a surveillance tool of the Chinese military. Several nations have received Chinese loans. Ecuador is so deep in debt to the communist government, it's asked Beijing to renegotiate the terms.
They orchestrate those loans and those contracts in ways to make sure that they get paid. And Chinese banks oftentimes operate more as loan sharks. In other words, give me the title to your car, so to speak.
In addition to making money, China expands its political influence. Taiwan used to be the dominant Asian trading partner in Latin America. Now, most of the nations in the region have flipped their allegiance to Communist China. At the same time, a leftist populist wave is sweeping through Latin American politics. Most of the governments now range from center-left to Marxist, with Brazil and Colombia both at risk of also falling to the left in coming elections.
Were that to happen, you would essentially have the entirety of Latin America in the hands of not just leftists, not just socialists, but really radicals and communists in quite a number of cases.
China is also establishing a growing number of Confucius institutes in the region, school programs that teach young people Chinese language and culture and push Chinese government propaganda. Ellis says China is also cultivating military ties here, which it could use in any future conflict with the United States.
So, for example, if war ever broke out over Taiwan, they would probably not make it a war that was fought just in Asia. It's entirely possible that there would be certain anti-U.S. states in the region that might welcome China in.
The White House claims it can win back the region with its Build Back Better World initiative. What the U.S. cannot do, says Ellis, is tell Latin American nations who they can and cannot trade with.
The United States doesn't have a lot of great options. It's very difficult for us to try to block sovereign nations from realizing commerce with another power. It only creates resentment. It's very difficult for the United States to provide alternatives to massive amounts of Chinese aid and investment.
But the U.S. has to do something because America faces a new strategic threat in this hemisphere.
We need to be acting on the principle that what happens in our hemisphere is of vital interest to our country. It's not just our backyard, I would argue it's our front yard.
Dale Hurd, CBN News.